This is Rust. And I know what you're thinking. It's pretty peaceful, right? No. No, don't even... No. You're not just up against the environment in this game. It's the players you have to worry about. The human beings that have spent hours honing their craft in Rust. And they are out to get you. As a beginner, you stand no chance. Then, you mix in those scientists that are just scattered around the map that also want to kill you. And it goes from just a really difficult experience for a beginner to a brutal experience. Trust me, I know. I played the game for 50 hours. 50! And so much happened in that time. But listen, I'll tell you the entire story, okay? But first, for those of you who don't know what Rust is, it's pretty simple. You gather material, you build a base, you live in that base, you think you're safe, and then you get raided by someone who's been playing the game for a really long time. Maybe even too long. And listen, I know I say this every time, but if at any moment you feel like you're enjoying the video, I invite you to hit the subscribe button. We're trying to reach 100,000 senshi by the end of the year. And listen, if you could help, that would be amazing. And listen, if you stick around, I know you'll have a good time. I'd always do my best to ensure that. Now let's start this story right from the beginning. My first hour. Now spawning in at night, that sucked, obviously. But the first thing I did was notice this island that was separate from the main island on the map. We could call this island Skull Island. Probably has a name, doesn't matter. I'm calling it Skull Island. Now this is where everything begins. This is where the story really takes off. But first things first, I craft myself a spear to keep myself safe in this darkness. I hear someone. Hello? Hello? Is someone there? Someone's there. Did you see that? Hey, I'm just passing by. I'm not gonna... Yeah, I'm no threat. I'm no threat.
Alright. Watch out for the bear.
Oh, okay. There's a bear. Okay.
There is a bear and lots of pigs and wolves. Good luck.
After panicking about the bears and the pigs and the wolves, I pretty much did everything I could to avoid any kind of hostile contact. And then I thought it was probably a good idea to just collect some basic materials while I'm here anyway. So that, you know, when I get to the island, I actually have something to build with. And then I got hungry, so I made myself some pork. And then I swam across to the island, and before you knew it, I was there. And then I found this really cool looking cave, and I could tell immediately that this island had so many resources, so I decided to collect some metal ore while I was there anyway. And then it was time to put together my base. Now this wasn't going to be anything fancy, just a 1x2 base to keep one guy safe from the wilderness. Once the base was finished, I got myself settled in and comfortable, and then I saw all the scrap just sitting out in the ocean. I was definitely gonna go collect all of that at some point. No, in fact, I went to go collect all that scrap right now. I just couldn't wait. There was just too much of it. And this island was so stacked with resources. Food was no issue. And there was a river with drinkable water, so there was really nothing to worry about here. And then for the rest of the evening, I just spent it collecting wood. Because why not? And then the next hour, I made myself some bone armor. Now one of the most important first weapons to get in this game is the hunting bow, because it can really do a lot of damage if you're good with it. But anyway, I went out to use it for some hunting, and then there was some creep creeping around outside my base. I got freaked out a little bit, but he asked me to come out so he could see my name. I think he was friendly, so I felt okay walking out. And that is Walter White. One thing you need to know about Walter White: he's a really nice guy. Like, there was this time I was trying to kill this pig, and I was probably going to die because I was panicking. But Walter White came in from nowhere and saved me right from that mountain. What a legend. And then one of Walter's friends came down to check how I was doing. You can forget about this guy. He has no more significance to this story. And then I decided it was time to make some improvements to the base. You know, increase its size and whatever. So I upgraded the base from a 1x2 to a 2x2. And take a look at that. Walter White again, right out of the shadows. This time he wanted to show me around the island, and he told me about something very important. Something called the Island Coalition, where basically everyone on the island is an ally to everyone else on the island. So you can't kill anyone on the island. Keep that in mind because that's important for later. But big up the guy Walter White. Now you won't believe this guy. You will not believe this guy. So obviously I was still working on my base, right? Trying to improve it, increase the size, and he comes outside and gives me a pickaxe and 2 furnaces and a workbench for no reason. My guy Walter White, I don't know what you did or what I did to deserve this, but You're a goat, my guy. So anyway, I continued construction on my base, making it bigger, upgrading some of those wooden materials to stone, and before I knew it, it was done. I also added some storage to the base because, you know, a guy needs to keep things in places, and then I decided to go on a night walk to get some materials. I don't know, I figured because everyone's inside their bases at night, it's safer, I don't know. There's logic here somewhere. And then the next hour, I decided to go ham on the scrap collecting. I mean, there was just free scrap sitting in the ocean, uncontested. Of course I was gonna run and get all of that stuff. And you know what? Seeing as though I was outside already, I thought might as well collect some stone too. Why the heck not? Now, of course, with great stone comes great upgrading. So I upgraded the rest of my base to stone and, you know, there's no safer feeling than having a fully stone base in Rust. And then I upgraded my front door to a metal door, so I was wrong. There is a safer feeling than a stone base. Also, I made this cool flashlight, so yeah, that was cool. Now, in the morning, all I wanted to do was go get some materials off the island. But this is the first time I noticed some cracks in this island so-called coalition. Now this was strange to me, very strange. Why is this man on this island killing me? Why are you killing me? Tell me why you're killing me. Why? Something wasn't right here. I don't think the island coalition was clear to absolutely everyone.
Oh!
Also, it wasn't clear to this bear. Who put this bear here? Also, the sucker had the nerve to kill me again. Wait, no, I'm part of the island something. Are we good? You know how everyone on the island doesn't kill everyone else on the island? They tell you that, no? Oh, thanks. Good thing this guy can listen to reason. Anyway, I spoke to him a little bit and he gave me everything back. I'm pretty sure he nabbed some of my things, but otherwise I had most of my stuff back. One of the things he nabbed was my bone armor, so now I had to walk around rocking this burlap clothing. Then, I decided to collect scrap for most of the day. I also found the speedboat, so yeah, it didn't go as slowly as it went last time. And I pretty much did this for the entire day. Yep, the entire rest of the day I was just collecting bits and bits of scrap. And then I went to go check out the lighthouse, and that's all I wanted to do. Just look around, find something. But someone else had other ideas. And then, I upgraded my base to sheet metal. I really wanted to make some kind of progress, but this just wasn't good enough. For 5 hours, I really had nothing to show, so my only option was to go to the leaders of this island. The ones who started this coalition in the beginning. I knew they could do something. Anything.
Hello.
I've had a really bad run. Horrible run of luck. I don't know if you guys have, I don't know, things. A pickaxe would be good. A pickaxe would change my life.
Guess I just changed your life for the better, Kanji Sensei.
Thank you. That means guys. You guys are my heroes.
Okay, but there's one condition. You must bring for us the farm. And when you bring this farm with this pickaxe,
Okay.
we give you these things that go bra 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 bra. We make your dreams come true, but you must just work for us, yeah.
And I agreed to this. I fully agreed to this. Basically, what they told me is that I need to collect loot, bring it back to them, and they give me things like guns and some materials. And the more I bring, the better the loot will become, like some kind of multiplier. That sounded perfect to me. And then I went back, collected as much loot, and I mean as much loot as possible. And then I went back with what I assumed was a lot of loot.
Kanji, I think you can do better.
And then I realized, I can just take things from my own base. Like, who's stopping me? No one. I can just grab my things, give it to them, and get some really good loot. Hopefully, anyway. But the next day I thought, before I do that, let me go exploring a little bit. Why not? Hey, look, I can give you this mining cap if you stop throwing some rocks. How's that sound? I work for this group of people.
Yeah, I've got something good.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay. Okay. Do you need help? I could pick you up if you want. I don't know.
I'm searching for a place to put my pool, but the game doesn't want me.
Now, don't forget about this pool guy. Keep this guy in the back of your head because he's important later. It's a good thing I helped him.
Help me find a flat surface.
There's no flat surface here. Yeah. All this is bumpy. After my little adventure, I went straight back to the island to see what I could get for all the loot I'd collected. It was my own loot, so I hoped to get something.
Okay, give me the juice.
Does that suffice?
I'm gonna give you two things, hang on. So I'm
Okay.
gonna give you this jackhammer and your payment.
My guy gave me a jackhammer, a hazmat suit, and a gun. Honestly, I didn't think he would give me this much, but finally I felt like there was some type of progress, even if it wasn't entirely my own. I guess even the worst of worst Rust players can make some kind of progress, right? It only took, what, 5 hours? So I went off to, test out the jackhammer, but first I had a meaningful conversation with these two people. I don't know, something about stocks, the environment, and space-time continuum. It's a very deep conversation. But out of nowhere, I'm dying. The light is disappearing, I can't...
Run, bro, run. Kill him with the sword.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, you got up.
Hey, you guys. Hey, okay, I know you guys can probably see me. I'm not a threat. I'm no enemy. I'm not gonna do anything bad.
Free meat, kill him.
No, it's not free meat. I'm not free meat now. Now things were going really bad at this point. Now, remember that pool guy I spoke about? He is about to be a big help. Hey, you wouldn't happen to live in that big base, would you?
No, that's a in the making nightclub.
Now this is pool guy's friend. He's pretty cool too, so yeah, he gets an introduction, I guess. So they're building this nightclub. Why? I don't know. And pool guy came out and he said, hey, listen, we have this little thing going here where all of us are friendly and we don't kill each other and we all kind of live in harmony. Does that sound familiar? Island Coalition. But I trusted pool guy.
Hey, Kanji. I know you. What's up, man? If you want to, you can join our team and live in this area. We're quite friendly.
Now, besides the fact that he pronounced my name Kenji and not Kanji, get it right, my guy, how could I say no to this pool guy, okay? How could I say no to his kind invitation? So they showed me around this place a little bit. They showed me where not to build because they were building the pool there. Yeah, remember how we wanted to build that pool? Well, he finally found a place that might work. And then they also gave me materials to build with. And then the next hour, I just went back to my old base to grab some of my things. And then I placed everything in the new base and made myself at home. Once I was nice and comfy, I decided, hey, why not collect some resources, seeing as though I have so much free time. And then later that day, I had even more free time, so I just decided, why not go on a nighttime scrap run? Get some scrap during this, free time, I guess. And then, for the first time ever, I took down a scientist. Wait, no, stop the dramatic music, they're really easy to take down. They also don't have that much loot, but the most important thing they do give you is the green card. The next hour, I was like, wait, I live in this base, so why don't I upgrade it? And then I placed a stone staircase where there was no hole to get out. And if you don't know Rust, you can't just break something, even if it belongs to you. So, yeah, that was an L. And then the next morning started off with me collecting scrap, and then I ended up in a flame arrows battle with this bear somehow. Yeah, I don't know. Now, the next hour, I decided I would stop having to deal with bears, so I unlocked a sword using my scrap, and let me tell you, this thing was so effective. I didn't have to fear bears anymore. I also recrafted my bone armor, so it meant I could wear actual armor and not whatever I was wearing before. Then, later, I decided to go check out mining outposts to see what, I could find, and I found an actual pistol. Finally. It took so long. Why? I don't know. And then of course with all that scrap I collected, I finally unlocked a shotgun. Specifically, the double barrel shotgun. The next hour, I took that green card I got from that scientist I killed earlier and took it to the monument satellite dish. The thing is, I was not only losing health from the cold weather, I was also losing health from the radiation. So doing this puzzle was proving to be a bit of a challenge because I actually had to survive to do it, and that wasn't exactly happening. I eventually got it to work though, but look, the loot wasn't that mind-blowing. But again, the most important thing to get here was the blue card.
Yeah, I took this. Yeah, took it all.
Now, you're probably wondering who this guy is that's taking everything. That's Josh. I figured, I might get more done if there was 2 people instead of 1. Now, naturally, the first thing we did was go find some scrap, and my game got really laggy for some reason.
Now you say my job's crusty. Look like yours, bro.
Oh. Now, we pretty much spent the entire time collecting scrap, and then the next hour, OBS decided that instead of giving me a video, it would give me a slideshow, so I have to make do with what I have. The first thing we did was go hunting. There was literally no food in the house, so we didn't have much choice. And then we kind of just chilled inside the house, yeah, vibing. And then Josh aimed his crossbow at me and told me if we don't go outside and do something, he was gonna shoot me. So that's exactly what we did. We decided to bring one of our allies with because, 3 is better than just 2. And all we wanted was to collect some cloth. That's all we wanted, and we were going so well. But remember how the coalition broke in the island? Well, this was proof of just that. There was some kind of war going on, and we got caught right in the middle of this. You wanna know how things were going down there in that battlefield? Well, here's some audio. Oh, there's a dog. Oh, there's a wolf by me! The wolf is killing me! The wolf is I'm gonna die! Then we were all eventually killed by a turret. All except me, of course. I survived and just made my way back home while it was nighttime. The next hour, I decided to build a newer, bigger base because there was 2 of us and our base was a little small. Now the thing is, I made it kind of big and kind of unprotected, which is a problem in Rust, but look on the bright side. It looks pretty nice on the inside. Yes, we might be raided very easily, but hey, at least we're comfortable in this base. The next hour, we decided to go to airfield because we knew there was so many military crates there, and military crates have a chance to spawn a gun. But of course, we found nothing good in the military crates, and Josh was also the only one who could go in and look because I had 0 radiation protection. All I did the next hour was make this window, and then OBS finally decided to fix itself. Also, our old teammates, they upgraded by 1,000. This made me realize just how behind we were in comparison to everyone else on the server. We are beginners, but this was appalling. The next hour, we headed back to Skull Island to get some hemp fibers, but then we met this farmer. Oh no, this guy's picking up corn. He's a farmer. Oh, he seems pretty passive.
We could try and kill him.
Yeah, let's try this the nice way, okay? I'll go talk to him, and then I'll signal you to just... Right. Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend.
Hello there.
Do you have anything
Yeah,
good?
he does
You wanna trade something? I don't know. We've had a bad run of luck, so we're looking for things. Josh, you've scared him, bro. Why? We're hunting this one man. That's how desperate we are.
Oh, look at the fish. Look under. There's fish.
There's beanfish, my boys.
Yeah, I have never been here. I'll shoot you. Oh, I'm Johnny. I'm Johnny.
Bro, why did you just thrust into... Why did you thrust into shoot?
You looked very shootable at that moment in time.
You just... What?
Don't worry about it.
The next hour, our base was raided, so we had nowhere to stay, and things just kept going wrong and wrong and wrong. The next hour, we found a really nice place to set up our new base since, everything went really badly the last hour. But Josh insisted that we bet some of our scrap on the big wheel.
Do you trust me?
No?
Good, that's the right answer. 49, okay. If we make more than 49 from this, we've gone positive. If this lands on 3, we're in the money. We're super in the money. Don't worry, I'm making sure we always go positive. We're not going negative.
Okay, good to know.
We have 38 on 3, 12 on 5, and 6 on 10. Okay, as long as it doesn't land on a 1 or 22, we're good.
Oh, I landed on 1.
Oh, we made a big loss there. Okay, all on 20. If this loses, we're done.
Is that good? No, I didn't hear any sound, so that's bad.
If I put down 10, we could have had 200 scrap. This is the moment of truth right here. Don't know. We listen for the sound. If we hear a sound.
After losing all our scrap, Josh decided to call it a night, but I decided to continue working on our base and it looked pretty good. Then the next hour, I decided to just go around collecting some materials like metal, just because there was so much of them lying around. Now, let's be honest, I knew we were gonna get raided sooner or later, so I spent some hours working on a base design. Yes, some hours.
Sup, boo? What's good?
Josh pressured this poor man to go put all his scrap in the big wheel. The dude had no choice but to go with it.
Yes. Oh.
Dude lost all of his scrap because of Josh. All of his scrap. Now, the real reason we were there was to buy the jackhammer. You can think of this as a pickaxe on Red Bull. The machine sends out a drone, the drone comes back with the jackhammer, and just like that, we had it. Our only obstacle was to get home safely and not die with the jackhammer. When we got home, we were locked outside our own base, and we spent a long time trying to get in, but then eventually we realized there's no way they would have entered our base and looted nothing just to lock us outside of it, so we knew it was done for that base. We decided to look around Lordside for a little bit to see if we could find anything good. As usual, we only found a bunch of scrap, but we did find this tower, and funny thing, the elevator only goes up. Yes, the elevator only goes up, so we were stuck. And then Josh said he has some ingenious way of getting down. Now I waited a long time for Josh to come back, and I mean a really long time, but when he did, he had some really good loot. He picked up some guns, 2 hazmat suits and a bunch of other things, but we made the mistake of going back to the base that we were locked out of, so we lost everything again. Remember that base I was practicing to build a while ago? Well, I figured now would be the perfect time, and while I was building it, this strange man kept coming to the base and giving me resources. Even well after the base was done, he just kept coming back to give me free things. And then I showed the base to Josh.
Oh, damn. Do you know how many resources this is going to cost? I don't think this is feasible. I am very, very sorry for what I'm about to say. We cannot do this.
As much as it pains me to say, Josh was right. The base was too big, so it would cost too many resources to upkeep, and it was literally not protected against any raids, so it really wasn't practical. So I had to say goodbye to the old dog. The next hour, I decided to actually do some research on what a good base looks like in Rust. One that could withstand a lot of raids but still be somewhat practical, and I found that base design. Then for the next 2 hours, I spent that time trying to get everything organized and fully move into this new base, so that when Josh came back, everything was ready and was looking really good. Josh eventually came back in the next hour and got himself acquainted with the base, moved all his stuff in, and then, since he was done, we decided, let's go have a look outside. And then we noticed a loot drop falling. And naturally, we chased it down, but we should have known we wouldn't be the only ones going for that loot. The next hour, we decided to go do the sewer branch monument. Yeah, we thought it was probably time we start doing more of these monuments, and the loot we found wasn't that good, but the most important thing we did find was the blue card. And then, we made it so our base was even more difficult to raid. Yeah, we were serious this time. And then, somehow, we ended up back at that big wheel, losing all our scrap again. How did this guy convince me to do this? And then I went out to test out the jackhammer, and this thing is so satisfying. Later, we went to do the train yard monument, and let me tell you, there were so many scientists here. We had to deal with all of them, but we didn't die to the scientists. We died to some guy who walked through a door while we weren't paying attention and just killed both of us. What a bad way to go down. And then I went out to use the jackhammer again. And I mean, just take a look how many materials I had collected by the end of that very short material run. And then the next hour, I was back on the jackhammer. I also did a little bit of, scrap collecting at the end of the day. Okay, so at this point, we got pretty sick of it just being the two of us, so we decided maybe it was time to bring a third member along the team. And if we were gonna do that, we had to upgrade our base and add a top floor. Well, this wasn't for the new member. This was actually so we could build a sick new surveillance room. Our new team member was gonna sleep outside. We also made an alliance with one of our neighbors that lived nearby. He said he wanted to invite us to go take over oil rig with them, and me and Josh agreed. They even gave us guns so we could prepare for this mission. I was really excited. Josh did have to eventually log off, so I had to go by myself with them, and they even invited me inside their base just to prove they were not a threat. And then it was go time. Now, things seemed like they were going really well, until they weren't. At some point, we got really overwhelmed by just a bunch of scientists, and one of my teammates died. I had no choice but to jump off the side of this thing, just to survive. Now, my remaining teammate really came in clutch in this moment. I thought it was done. I thought we were finished, but he was still alive too, and came right in time to pick me up. But he ended up dying of hunger, so there we go. I did pick him up though, and it seemed like we were still on track. We might actually survive this. But not even 5 minutes later, I was the only one left. Now, let's be honest, what was I gonna do? And then I found some creep digging around in our things inside our base. He destroyed all the doors and made his way right in, no problem. Now, I tried to reason with this man, but he was not having it. Now, for some reason this guy only looted the one chest. I'm gonna assume he didn't need anything else, so yeah, thank goodness. Okay, so to make sure that we never get raided like that again, I upgraded the front piece of the base. Basically, I made it so instead of having to go through 2 doors, you now have to go through 3 doors. So yeah, that should make it a little bit more difficult for us to get raided. And you know what? It looks pretty good if I do say so myself. You're probably wondering who that guy is that's snooping around the front of our base. That is Dylan, our new teammate. And yes, he is 1000% sleeping outside. Later on, while me and Josh were, looking for some loot around the place, we found some diving suits. And then, naturally we would want to use the diving suits to go diving. But the thing is, this canoe was just so slow. We were gonna call it a day, but I just had to test this thing out. I had to. And you know what? I was very satisfied with it. Very satisfied. Oh yeah, did I mention we lost the jackhammer? So I had to go buy that again. Now, things were going to change. You see, the next hour we noticed that a loot crate spawned right on top of Dome. And all we had to do was go to the Dome monument, do some parkour to get up there and, get all that loot. Easier said than done. It took us a while to actually do this because we just didn't know what the heck we were doing. I was trying to just guess where to go. Then eventually I realized that maybe I should just search up how to do this, and then it didn't take too long before we got to the top. When you eventually do get to the top, there's that 15-minute timer on the loot crate, so you have to wait 15 minutes before you can actually open this thing. And when we did, it actually had some really good loot. We also started upgrading the outside of our base to sheet metal. The next hour, I was just trying to put up some walls around our base to make it a compound. And then, Someone who lives in the same area as us thought it would be a good idea to just kill me while I was collecting wood. Who kills a guy collecting wood? Who does that? And the only thing I can say is that this started an all-out war.
You're getting sniped, aren't you? I'm coming.
You know what? None of this would have happened if I was just left to collect some wood in peace.
No, I'm a bad guy. From where?
We decided to get up close and personal with our enemies. We wanted to make sure that we were going to not only get them, but we were going to raid them. By the end of it, no one really won the fight. It ended up being meaningless, so we just went back home. Now tell me, after that turn of events, what would you do? Me and Josh decided to do some aim training because, you know, we realized just how bad our aim was during that entire war saga. And then, the next hours, our base was truly transformed. I did kind of mess up the placements of the walls because I placed them too far from the TC, but this looked so clean, and most of our base was being upgraded to sheet metal at this point. We also upgraded the next door to our entrance into an armored door, so now it would take even more effort to raid us. Now, since we had a bunch of oxygen tanks and a bunch of diving suits, we decided, why don't we use them? So we headed off to find an underwater lab. Now, as much as I wished we could just stand there and look out into the ocean, there were so many scientists to deal with.
Yeah, pushing. Yeah. Do it. Come up here. Chill.
And after all that fighting, we forgot to bring any keycard, not a green keycard, not a blue keycard, so we never really got any loot. In fact, we got nothing from this. What we did do though was call in a loot drop, and you will not believe what happened. There were some dudes in a helicopter, and they were obviously trying to take the loot crate, but instead of being, you know, successful at it, they crashed into the loot crate and died. That's not even a joke.
They crashed into it. Low.
Now, not only did the crate have good loot, but they had good loot too. This was perfect. I mean, how lucky do you have to be? The next hour, nothing happened. Yep, literally nothing happened. We just stood around with our torches out doing absolutely nothing. Since we were so unproductive the last day, we thought maybe to make ourselves a bit more productive, we could go do small oil rig. Now, yes, it is small oil rig and it's not large oil rig, but it was still quite a challenge. There are still so many scientists on this thing. Once we dealt with the first wave of scientists, we used our blue keycard to open up the blue keycard room, and inside there was one of those countdown crate things, and that activates the second wave of scientists, who are, by the way, armored. Now look, the loot was, it was okay. But we knew we would get so much more loot from large oil rig. That's exactly what we prepared to do. So, okay, we're heading over to large oil rig, alright? Everything's going fine. We're riding the boat, everything seems good, everything seems okay. And out of nowhere, some dude with a sniper is waiting for us right at the top. What? Why? But listen, this is all we had. This was all the energy we had left. Gone. I couldn't. I didn't want to see Rust anymore. I didn't want to play Rust anymore. Everything Rust was destroyed from my hard drive. Not exactly, but it was brutal. You know how long 50 hours is? I had to end it there. I could not go back again. And that was it. 51 hours of Rust. But listen, if there was any piece of you that enjoyed that video, again, I invite you to hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't already, I invite you to hit the like button. If you watched the video this far, it does really mean the world to me. People of the Senshi clan, as always, stay hopeful. I'll see you in the next video. Until then.